son Yahweh Shah for the reading and understanding of his word today.
That's right.
We always want to exhort those that are keeping the commandments. We are the brothers, the elders of the congregation of the Shi'yah, and we're coming at you today with a lesson. I'm excited for it because I know it's going to be a great one. Our brother Ezekiel is going to head this lesson, and the title is called, what's the title, King?
Greed in food.
Say that again.
Greed in food.
So the title today is going to be about our diet and how we're supposed to conduct ourselves when we eat, what we're supposed to eat, even how much as far as portions. So we're going to learn today about food, greed in food.
Appreciate that, brother. This is a lesson that is very, very much needed in the Israelite community. We suffer from a high risk of obesity. The numbers don't lie. A lot of our people will lie to themselves and say they fine, they're all right. Go to the doctor, suffer from high blood pressure, congested heart failure, high cholesterol. But you say that you're all right, but in reality, you're not. The numbers don't lie. So I want to read this off. This is from blackdemographics.com. You can always Google search it. These are us, so-called black people. We put these statistics out right here to let our people know when it comes to like the obesity by race. Hispanics men make up 45% of obesity. White men make up 43% of obesity. Black men make up 40% of obesity. Asian men make up 18% of obesity. So what did that tell you? Seems like the Asians didn't crack the code to staying in shape, staying away from obesity. But when it goes to the black people, it says 40%. Now, we are at a lower percent than the Asian, than the white and the Hispanic, but we at a higher percentage than the Asian people. That's because we love eating pork, we love eating out all the time, all these restaurants that they got on every corner. We love deep diving into those right there. Processed food, processed food, which caused us to be overweight. Now, that was the men. Do y'all want to hear the women? Yeah, he said, nah, sister, nah. Let's go to the women. Black women make up 58% of obesity in America. 58%. That's a high number. I haven't even got to the other ones yet. That is astronomical when you just read that right there alone. Hispanic women make up 46%. White women make up 40%. Asian women make up 15%. The reason why these numbers are so high like this is because, like I said, we love eating out and we love eating food that's typically not good for us. Saturated fats, bread that's enriched with white flour and bleach. We love things like this. And it goes mostly to us being destroyed in our mind because, back in slavery time, we only fed whatever the master gave us, and we end up becoming accustomed to that and end up making that a generational thing as well, too.
Right.
And so what Esau did was he even pushed it further by giving you all these different outlets for you to eat, like far as like McDonald's, Burger King, Popeyes, because it's easy and convenient. But you guys hold the power. You don't have to go to them places. You can cook and you can control the ingredients that you put in your food at home.
Right.
But a lot of our brothers and sisters, we love things that's convenient for us. This is how these places, they tend to get you by doing things like that. So first scripture we want to go to is Ecclesiastes 7:29. It's a reason why I'm pulling Ecclesiastes 7:29. Read that.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 29. Lo, this only have I found.
What's that?
That Yahweh hath made man upright.
Say it again.
That Yahweh hath made man upright.
Most High God made man upright. So why did I pull it? I pull that because if you talk to some of our people, they'll say, especially obese people, God made me this way. God didn't make you that way. God did not tell you to get 5 plates of leftovers or go to McDonald's and get 5 hamburgers with 2 large fries and a soda drink. You believe it or not, some of our people do eat like this. If you ever pay attention to a show called 600-Pound Life, you will see how these people eat. It's damaging to their body. It's destroying them. But then you talk to some of them, they say, I always been like this. You did not come out the womb 600 pounds. That's a lie. That's a utter lie to think that you came out the womb 6, but this is how we destroy ourselves in our mind. We think that we were always like this. No, you wasn't. It was a time in your life to where you made a suffer depression, that you went through something tragic in your life, and then next thing you know, food was your comfort zone. So you just start eating, and then you develop in your mind by destroying yourself, thinking that God made you this way. No, right. I'm telling you right now, God did not make you that way. Finish that up.
But they have sought out many inventions.
You sought out many inventions. Food was your invention. And so when you think that Most High God did you that way, nope, he didn't. Go back to biblical times. Think about the days of Moses. Think about when we was in the wilderness. Think about Christ. These people right here was not overweight. Now there are, accounts in the Bible where it talks about certain people was overweight, but for us like us, that was not our custom. Our custom wasn't being overweight. God gave us enough for us to supply us. He did not give us enough for us just to sit around there and just overeat and indulge in things like that. Because why? Because stuff like that goes into us. Right. When you overindulge in something, it goes into lust. When you start being addicted to something, that's a lust, right, that you're dealing with. Now, go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. 1 Corinthians 3 and 16.
Something real quick.
Go ahead.
Before we get to 1 Corinthians 3:16, go to Wisdom of Solomon and go to chapter 1. And I'm on verse 15 and 16. Because it goes exactly what he's saying. Ecclesiastes, he says in verse 29, he says, Wisdom of Solomon? Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon. Starting verse 15. He says, look at Ecclesiastes, he says, he made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions, right? Meaning we did this to ourselves.
Yep.
We went and did that, right? Give me that.
This is the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 15. It says, for righteousness is immortal.
So we know that Deuteronomy 6:25 tells us that keeping the commandments is righteousness. Mm-hmm. But he tells us further in that same verse that it's our right, it will be righteousness for us, right? The Most High is already righteous. So yep. we're trying to catch up to what he eats and doesn't eat. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 16. But ungodly men with their works and words.
So with the things that we do, with the things, yes, the words that, yes, he says words, but we're just dealing with the works right now. The works my brother dealing with is our eating habits.
That's right.
So with these words, go ahead.
Called it to them.
Now it being death, because the first verse that he spoke on was what? Immortality.
That's right.
So we call mortality, we call death upon us by saying, it's all right. Big Mama ate all these years.
Yep.
It's all right. Look, so-and-so did this when they had it. That's not what you're supposed to be looking at, right? So he said that by our works, we call it being death to us. Go ahead.
For when they thought to have it, their friend,
it being mortality, it being death, it being all the things that we do to ourselves to bring this death to us. Go ahead.
They consumed not.
Look at the wordplay.
They consumed to not.
Look at the wordplay where he says consume. What happens when you consume something? You eat
it.
Right?
That's right.
So we consume to not. We eating stuff that's not good.
That's right.
My brother, one of the first things he pointed out was fast food. And if you look at the stuff that makes up our fast food, that's not even real food.
Nope.
Right? Nope. So we consume to not. We've eaten the things that we shouldn't, that's making us into nothing, that's bringing us into death. Go ahead.
And made a covenant with it.
With death. Read.
Because they are worthy to make part with it.
Let's go. All praise. That was really good. I love how it said made a covenant with it, because a lot of our people do that. You know, they make a covenant with food. They tend to worship food. They make food their God.
Say that.
1 Corinthians 3:16. Read that.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of Yahweh, and that the spirit of Yahweh dwelleth in you?
Now, it says that we are the temple of Yahweh. So if your body is a temple, normally we pull this, we normally pull this for people who defile themselves with smoking, but this also goes into people who defile themselves when it comes to food. Think about what it is. When you smoke cigarettes, that's poison that you put in your body. When you eating processed food and food that's unclean to you, that's putting poison in your body. So what are you doing to your temple? You are destroying your temple from the inside. And we know when you destroy something from the inside, eventually it's going to show out. It's going to pour outward. It's going to show on your outward appearance. How some of y'all ever notice how y'all see some people who take good care of their body, their face be glowing, they have shiny looking skin and stuff like that. They look different, you know? When you see a person who eating foods that they know is not healthy for them, you can see on their outward appearance that their body is breaking down. They'll start having acne all over there. They'll start having like saggy skin and stuff like that. And they'll just start looking terrible. You know, that's because they're destroying their body from the inside outward. We can take a little further. I'm for sure to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 17 through 18. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 17 through 18. Let's see what our forefather said.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verses 17, starting at verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season.
Say that again.
And thy princes eat in due season.
See, we got a time to eat. It's a certain time that you're supposed to eat, whether you eat morning, noon, or night. You know, most doctors say it's best to eat when your body is active, because at nighttime when you eat, all that food just sitting on you and it's just not working itself off. Better than if you do it on day-to-day, you know, activities and stuff like that. But we're supposed to eat in due season. The reason why I pulled that is because you're not supposed to be eating every time you think that you're hungry. You ain't supposed to be doing that. That causes you to be obese as well, too. That causes you to be overweight. A lot of our people love to do what? Snack on stuff. No, you don't have to snack. And I don't know where this thing came from when you have to have 3 meals a day. You don't have to have 3 meals a day. You know, some people can sustain themselves on just 1 meal. You can get all your calories in off of 1 meal. You know, you don't have to have 3 meals. And I'm not saying that you personally don't have to do that. What I'm saying is it's not a requirement. You know, if that's something that helps you out, like if you eat just a little bit here and a little bit there, like morning and night, and it helps you to sustain, you know, your weight or whatnot, that's fine. What I'm saying is don't be snuffing at eating eggs, bacon, toast, grits, and breakfast. Then lunch go roll around. You got hamburger, fries, pizza, you know, lobster, pork. You know what I'm saying? Then when dinner time comes around, pasta, you got chicken all over again. Some people like to throw bacon over there again. That's what I'm saying. You eating too much. You need to eat in due season. Read on.
Hey, just to piggyback or to land me back off of what he's saying, you eat like that, you eat that big breakfast. And then you know what you do before lunchtime comes? I'm gonna get some chips.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna have this Coca-Cola. I know y'all know people who feel like they gotta have a Coca-Cola every day. Right? So I'm saying, like, in between these big meals that we eat, we constantly snacking. And then we justify it by saying, well, I'm just snacking.
Yeah.
Perfect point where he says, thy princes eat in due season.
For what?
For strength.
For strength.
And not for drunkenness.
See, we're not supposed to be overeating. You know, food is meant for you to sustain yourself for strength.
That's right.
You know, when you don't eat, what happens to you? You become weak. You know, you become weak in the body. Why? Because you don't have the nutrients that you need to sustain that body that you got. God gave you a body, a vessel. The Most High God made your body 100% complete. Your body is complete. What do I mean by 100% complete? Meaning, think about this. If you become iron deficient, that means you lacking in iron. Right. That means somewhere off that your body is not, it is full completion because you done took something far as like eating much more of this. Now you become deficient in that.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
God made it perfectly balanced for you to have everything in your body to be equal, far as like equal amount of having everything in your body. So it's supposed to come up to a whole completion of 100. The minute that you go off and you give into something more, you neglecting something else. You see what I'm saying?
Too much care.
Exactly. You think, and it goes into eating healthy foods too. You eat too much healthy food, far as like certain healthy food that you eat, you can make that come deficient somewhere else along the lines of what now. And you go to the doctor, and you talk to the doctor be like, well, you have been eating a good healthy diet, but you've been neglecting your B12. You haven't been getting enough vitamin D. You know, your calcium is low. You know, you may be taking in water, which is good, you know. But now you become lacking over here. That's, God made it perfectly balanced. You know, perfectly balanced. Now, give me verse 18.
Verse 18. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 18.
Because this is going to go right along with 1 Corinthians 3 and 16.
By much slothfulness, the building decayed.
See, through laziness, through you overeating, because we know when you become overweight and you become obese, you tend to become lazy. You don't become want to do nothing. So because of that, your temple becomes what? Slothful. You start suffering from slothfulness, and the building starts to decay. That temple starts to decay. That's what I was saying. Like when you start eating all that poison, it decays. You know, it destroys from the inside. Your temple is being destroyed, and it's gonna show out. Read on.
By much slothfulness, the building decayed, and through idleness of the hands, the house dropping through.
That goes into not exercising. You eating more than you actually working out. You know, there's things like far as like when you see certain like bodybuilders and stuff like that, how they have like all these meals and stuff like that, and then they have still that big nice size and stuff like that, where they combating it with exercising. They may have like these meals to solidify their caloric diet or whatnot, but they exercising to combat it. Now, through much slothfulness, you sitting there eating all that stuff, it ain't doing nothing to you because you ain't working it off. It's just piling up in you. And eventually, it's going to end up happening. It's going to eventually destroy you. And so that's what we're trying to bring out now, is we don't want our people to be destroyed by obesity. I just gave you the numbers. You know, how women are suffering more than the men when it comes to being obesity. Why? It's because people, they family members or friends enable them. You know, we become enablers to one another. We'll look at a sister and be like, hey, sis, you know, you're doing good. Especially nowadays, you know, they are very prideful when it comes to obesity. You can't tell a woman like, hey, sis, you know, you can gain a little bit of weight over here. You know, you might want to go on diet or whatnot. No, you body shaming me. You know, you talking about me. You know, but it's so crazy though, because a man can go to another man and say, hey, bro, you fat. He'll take that and be like, you know, I need to change. Yeah, they're not gonna lose friendship over that. You know, they'll look and examine themselves like, damn, we did get away. But our women though, will look at each other like, nah, sis, you got it, sis, you doing good. You know, dang gone well. This woman was in a size 4, now she's a size 16, a size 22, and say thick. You know, you say thick, but the doctor say you obese, you unhealthy. So who right? Who's right? The doctor is right. He went through he knows the medical terminology and the medical, you know, procedures and stuff like that. And he knows, like, hey, your BMI is too much for you. You need to lose weight. But with that right there, a lot of our people try to enable each other, which isn't a good thing. When we enable one another, we actually hurt one another.
That's right.
We destroy one another.
Say that.
You know.
Say that.
Oh, okay, sis.
Not only that, so I like to lift weights.
Mhm.
And dealing with it's a documentary about one of my favorite weightlifters on YouTube. His name is CT Fletcher.
Oh yeah, I like CT.
That's my
I like
boy.
CT. Yeah.
Okay,
That's my
CT
boy.
tell you off the rip that he was eating horribly
Mhm.
Take care
Yep.
of him, sis.
to build up his muscle. He ate a
Yeah,
lot.
he ate a lot.
Which you got to get your calories in. But he was eating horribly. What he used to do, like
It was a
3-4
whole
Big Mac meals,
Yeah.
and all of
He
this.
was eating 6 times a day.
Yeah,
But big
but it was
meals
bad.
of stuff that he
Mhm.
should not,
No,
Yeah.
he wasn't eating good.
right?
Mhm.
And I think I seen something on Ronnie Coleman where his meals were big and and it was food that he should not be eating.
Yep.
Whereas you look at these things now, bodybuilders and fitness enthusiasts have more understanding on that they should stuff like they should try to get their fruits and their vegetables.
Mhm.
What's the one thing people who work out say you need to get your protein in?
Yep.
They always want to tell you get your protein in, but what they don't tell you is,
Yep.
like you said, you overdo it one way,
You overdo
and
it.
now you're lacking somewhere else.
Mhm.
So you're getting all this protein in,
Yep.
you're getting all these carbs in. You know what help move that out your body though? Fiber.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they never say, man, make sure you're eating a couple of apples a day.
Yep.
Hey, you eat oatmeal, brother, because the oat's gonna help that move that around in.
All right.
They don't tell you that,
They
right?
don't.
So this is stuff that we got to make sure that when we think eating, even when you think eating to build muscle or gain weight or sustain yourself,
Mhm.
we have to understand that it's a way to go about
It is.
The
Always
Most
a
High
way.
made everything right and
He
exact.
did.
It's a reason why we're supposed to have. Think about it, you go to a restaurant. Why a salad come with every meal you get? It's because they're trying to, even though it's not a real salad, they're trying to give you something that's like, okay, we're gonna give you something that's gonna move this food around.
Yep.
So we got to know to get our fruit, our vegetables in. We love to say, I know so many people who say, I can't drink water. I don't like the taste.
Mhm.
That's crazy to me because water don't
I
taste
heard
like
that
it.
too. It don't.
Right.
You put lemon in it and it tastes like lemon.
Mhm.
Right? You put a lime, you put a mint in the water, it tastes like mint.
Absolutely.
So water don't really have no taste. You're using an excuse. And
Yep.
this is why people, like you said earlier,
Mhm.
that's why people's skin look bad.
They do.
This is why they skin is flabby or soft.
Yep.
That's right.
This is why there's not any muscle tone. It's because they're not doing the things, taking in the things that they need
Absolutely.
Right.
to make it balanced.
Mhm.
That's all I want to say.
You got anything else?
Yeah, let me get a precept to show you how important that this is as far as your discipline that you need to have.
Mhm.
The Bible tells us that we have to have a certain type of discipline when it comes to eating food, right? Go to Proverbs. You got Proverbs chapter 23, verse 1. You already put that? So go to Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 1. This is so very important because he tells you, now watch this, he's going to give you the attitude or the mind frame to have when it comes to how we're supposed to eat. Go ahead and read that when you get a chance.
Book of Proverbs 23 and 1. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler,
When you sit to eat with your elders, go ahead.
consider diligently what is before thee.
Pay attention to what's there. Pay attention to what you can eat, what you can't eat, what you should and what you shouldn't eat.
Right.
Consider diligently what is before you. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And put a knife to thy throat.
Wait, and do what?
And put a knife to thy throat.
Now, is he actually telling you to put a real knife to your throat? He's telling you to what? He's telling you to consider very seriously how much food you consume.
That's right.
Be very serious about your contents on your plate is what he's telling you. That's why he said put a knife to your throat. Go ahead.
If thou be a man given to an appetite.
If you are one who you know that, because we got to know ourselves. Some of us know I can be greedy at times.
Me too.
I can really.
Me too.
Have you ever heard the expression "your eyes are bigger than your stomach"?
Yep.
I have fixed the plate to where my eyes are bigger than my stomach. Like, damn, I can't even eat all this. And I fixed the plate to where I just couldn't eat it all. But when I first was fixing the plate, it looked like I could eat all the stuff. Right? That's what he's talking about. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 3. Be not desirous of his dainties.
So when your eyes are bigger than your stuff, don't be desirous to have get one steak. If you see a plate full of steak, don't get 2 and 3 because you're hungry. Just get the one, right? Go ahead.
For they are deceitful meat.
So so that's deceitful. That's an example of your eyes being bigger than your what?
Sure, right.
Than your stomach. So when we're gonna eat, let's eat modestly. And then watch this. After we eat, wait 20 minutes or so. Because remember, it takes the brain over 20 minutes to tell the stomach that it is full. So after you finish eating, guess what you're gonna feel first? You're still gonna feel hungry. That message does not get down until that food processes until it starts processing. So after you eat a decent meal, a nice sized meal, you're gonna still feel hungry. Until what? The food begins to process. And we have to remember that, be mindful of that.
That's right.
That's all I want.
Good. That was right, exactly.
Good. From there, go to Psalms 78, verses 17 through 25.
Psalm 78, verse 17. Start at 17.
Start at 17.
Psalm 78, verse 17.
So a lot of our people think like they can eat, and Most High God doesn't do anything to his people that overeats. Well, I'm going to show you otherwise that is inaccurate. The Most High God never told us to sit over here and deep dive into food. As a matter of fact, it's a lot of scriptures go into us only having like a little bit to sustain us. You know, that's all you need is a little bit. You know, you can tell that you didn't have more than enough when your belly stick out, and now you gotta unloosen your unloosen your pen. You know, you done had too much. You start to become lazy.
Bring it out.
You start to become sluggish. That's because you done had too much. You're not supposed to have that much. You know, what good? Yeah, you end up getting sleepy. You know what they call the itis. You know,
they call it itis.
Yes, you done too much.
This is the 78th Psalm, 17th verse. And they sinned yet more against him by provoking the Most High in the wilderness.
So they provoking the Most High God in the wilderness right now. Read on.
And they tempted Yahweh in their heart by asking
by doing what?
By asking meat.
For what?
For their lust.
It's a lustful thing for you to ask for meat for your lust. What does it mean, meat for your lust? That means God gave you this right here. No. I want more than that right there. Just like my brother just brought out right now. That's one steak right there. That's all you need. Why the heck you need 3 or 4, 5 more steaks? Now you're asking for your lust right now. Because the Most High God gave you a portion for you to do what you need. Now you're going beyond that. And now you're sinning because now you're provoking the Most High God. Read on.
Verse 19. Yea, they spake against Yahweh.
Watch what they say.
They said, can Yahweh furnish a table in the wilderness?
These are some despicable people in the wilderness. This is horrible. So you mean to sit up here and tell me that the God of our fathers loved you all so much, he gave you food to sustain you in the wilderness. And now you asking, can he furnish a table in the wilderness? You done went into straight lust with that right there. They want,
they want to be at a restaurant.
They want to be like at a restaurant. Read on.
Verse 20. Behold, he smote the rock that the waters gushed out and the streams overflowed. Can he give bread also?
See, now they ask for the table, and now they asking for bread on the table. You see what I'm saying? These people have gone. They have been, at this time. We know in the wilderness, the Most High God is already taking care of us. Right? He got Moses and Aaron out there right now. So if there's anything that we want to need, all we gotta do is go to Moses. Moses goes to the Father, and boom, we have it right then, right there. But the Most High God is not gonna give you anything for your lust. He's gonna give you what it is that's need for you. You know, once you go beyond it, you're doing too much at that point. You know, you're starting to be what we call greedy. You know, read on.
Can he provide flesh for his people? Therefore, Yahweh heard this.
And what he did?
And was wroth.
He was pissed off. God was pissed off. Read on.
So a fire was kindled against Jacob. And anger also came up against Israel.
Right.
Because they believed not in Yahweh and trusted not in his salvation.
Right. Read on.
Though he had commanded the clouds from above and opened the doors of heaven.
And did what?
and had rained down manna upon them to eat.
Do y'all know how important manna is in the Bible? Manna is angels' food. That means the Most High God loved you enough to give you something He gives to His angels in heaven.
He gave it to you here on
He
earth.
gave it to you on earth.
Yeah.
But then you become lustful and said, can He furnish a table in the wilderness? After this man then gave you manna from heaven, He rained it down on you. Now you want meat for your lust. You see how that comes into when we deal with obesity. We'll have food, but then we'll go.
Say that.
Then we'll go to a restaurant and eat up.
Hey, make it bad. We don't go to a restaurant. We go into the drive-thru.
Going to the drive-thru. Why not cook the food you got at home?
Say it.
The food at home is typically more better for you. Do you guys know how much power you have when it comes to these, these restaurants and stuff like that? You guys all have the power. These restaurants open up, but if nobody serves them, they can't sustain themselves.
That's right.
Nowadays, I was watching the news, and nowadays, people have started to become more aware and notice that these food prices are jacking up. So they starting to cook their foods at home. Now restaurants are going down 4 to 7% in sales. So you know what they're doing now? Now they have to readjust and make changes. Now we got to lower our prices now because people ain't coming to us. You know what I'm saying? You guys own the power. And so I say that to say this. The Most High God loves us enough. Not for us to be obese, but Most High God give you food and whatnot. You do it to sustain yourself. You don't do it to become overweight. You don't do it to become like past food. You eat what's important and meat for you. Doctors normally say, like, depending on your age, depending on your height and your weight, that most of us supposed to only have 12 to 1,500, calorie diet. Mostly men have 2,000 calorie diet. But when it comes to the women, normally like 12, between 12 and 14. That should be exercise. You keep weight off you depending on food that you eat, whatnot. Don't you think the Most High God was probably trying to keep them sustained so they can continue doing His will? That's right. I read earlier in Ecclesiastes that through much slothfulness, the building decayed. If God gave you all this food right here, what's going to end up happening? You're going to start becoming lazy. You're going to be able to do His will. That's right. You're going to be in the wilderness over there, sleep somewhere. And the Most High God needs His kingdom built up. And now you can't build the kingdom up. Why? Because you over there knocked out sleep. You can got the latest over there. You know what I'm saying? End up returning to sin. So I'm trying to show you how this right here is related to back in the past too, because this is David just recounting what was done in the past. Go to Exodus. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna start 24, and then we're gonna wrap up with 25. This is Psalm 78, starting at verse 24. And had rained down manna upon them to eat, and had given them of the corn of heaven.
That's right.
And man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. There was no way around that.
No way around.
The Most High, when you deal with that situation, the Most High was giving you something that when you read that story, we didn't even understand the concept of what manna was.
Nope.
And then He gave it to us to the full. He said, go out and gather everything that you need, all that you can get it. Get it. Because this is what's going to sustain you, right?
That's right.
If you go back up a verse, He said He gave you water out the rock.
Out the rock, baby.
Look what He's giving you. If you read through these verses, He mentions the water, He mentions corn.
That's right.
He mentions meat.
That's right.
I don't know about y'all, but how many times y'all been at the barbecue and didn't eat none of the sides? You just keep getting bread and the meat right off the grill.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Most High giving it to you. You in the desert, how many of y'all just been out, brothers, who been out on the corners trying to talk to the people? How many times you been out there when it's hot? And you can't wait to get that water in your system. It's all you want.
Yeah.
He's giving you exactly what you need.
That's
right there. Yep. And then He says, what? Very last line in verse 25. To the full.
To the full.
You know what we gonna do? Like my brother said,
Go beyond that.
I want more.
I'm gonna go beyond that. You know?
He told you, don't, when he tell you about certain situations, he say, don't gather more than what you need.
That's right. That's right.
And this is what my brother's going into. We gathering more than what we need when the Most High gave us what we need to sustain us. You want me to go here?
Exodus, you got something? Good. Exodus chapter 16 and verse 4. We're gonna give just a little history on what it is, because they will just recount history right here. 16, start at verse 3.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, starting at verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the land of Yahweh in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill us, the whole assembly with hunger.
So now they saying that the Most High God, delivered them out of the land of Egypt. And so now they are saying, now since we're in the wilderness, is he just going to leave us out here to die? Is he just going to kill us out here in the wilderness? Read on.
Verse 4. Then said Yahweh unto Moses,
look how good our God is. Read.
Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day.
God gave you a certain rate to get every day. He didn't give you nothing the way you can just go out there and just grab how many of it you can grab, in your hold, whatever, and then just take it back home with you. He gave you a certain rate. Why? Because that certain rate is what was going to be beneficial for you throughout the time that you was in the wilderness. Right? Read on.
Not only that, but that certain rate, the Most High know his children, each one of us by number and name. That's right. So when it's like, oh, you know what, Gabar taking in 17 loaves of bread, when Gabar really only need 3. You know what? That means somebody else's family missing out.
Yes, right.
10 loaves of bread. That's right.
I'm glad you said that.
Right. He's dealing with us. We're supposed to always be in the state of loving our brother as we would love ourselves.
Say that.
And so when we out here overeating, who family not eating while you overeat?
That's right.
Right. You got to consider that.
Glad he said it.
Me too.
Verse 4, it says, then said Yahweh unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you.
This will go back into the ancient food. Read.
And the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no.
Right. So Most High God, the reason why I put it right there, because when we was in the wilderness, we're supposed to gather a certain rate of food. Just like when we deal with ourselves at home, we just need a certain portion. Right. We don't need to be getting no big portions. Like my brother poured out, your eyes, bigger than your belly. You going out there looking at all, you got all this right here, all these options, and you trying to pick from each one of these options right here. Sometimes you don't need to. Sometimes you just need just a little bit, maybe one plate, and you'll be good. And then what some people don't, what a lot of people fail to realize is when you normally eat all that, food with that day, now you got to figure out, sometimes you got to figure out what you're going to eat for tomorrow.
The next day.
Or next day.
Big house, right.
But if you was to save, get a little portion here, then you can have something for tomorrow. Then you can have something probably for Tuesday and Wednesday and stuff like that. See, now you can also save money and you can also still sustain yourself because then you still got food in your body. It may not be as much as you would like to have, but it's sustaining you, till what? Till probably the next time you got to go make groceries or probably the next time you get your paycheck, right? And so now that we know that our people in the wilderness, they provoke the Most High God. Now we finna read what the Most High God did to these people that provoked him in the wilderness. Go back to the chapter, go back to Psalm 78, and we finna read verse 30 and 32.
Y'all need to remember, y'all start doing that, y'all gotta understand too. Y'all know y'all stomachs will shrink to accommodate the way that y'all eat. So at first you are going to be hungry, but when you start this new way of eating and new understanding, your stomach itself, the stomach is going to shrink to where you are gonna eventually eat this way. First, it won't be, but eventually it will be. Go ahead.
So going into it, when we talking about overeating and whatnot, right? My brother was saying how when we even in a healthy aspect, when we eat a lot of this, it makes us deficient in other things when we don't have that balance, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know exactly who I got it from. It might be in the scriptures, it might not, but we're supposed to do all things in moderation.
That's right.
So when you deal with stuff, understand that eating too much of this can cause an issue. I don't know about y'all,
Off balance.
but if you eat way too many fruits and vegetables, y'all know what happened? Your stomach upset. Now you're sitting on the toilet. So if you drink too much water, y'all know what happened? You gotta go pee all the time.
That's right.
Right? If you eat too much bread, I don't care if it's 12 grain oral whole wheat. Guess what? It's gonna kind of bloat you up.
It is.
This is what happens. Let's stay in Exodus. Go over one chapter. Go to chapter 15. So go to verse 26.
Read.
Yes.
This is Exodus chapter 15 and verse 26.
Mhm.
It says, and said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh thy power, and will do that which is right in his sight.
Stop right there. Go on. Now that's crazy because my lesson from last week is linking with his lesson this week. We just got to do what is right in his sight. We got to do it his way.
Absolutely.
And he's saying that, you know what? If y'all do this way, watch what happens. Read.
And will give ear to his commandments and keep all his statutes.
So when we deal with these laws and these commandments and we do it his way, when we eat the foods we're supposed to eat, don't overeat. Even the foods we're supposed to eat, when we don't overeat them, read.
I will put none of these diseases upon thee.
My brother, one of the first things he pointed out was hypertension.
Yep.
So, you know, when you're young, you don't pay attention and you hear your elders say words like sugars. You don't know what that is. When I got older, I understood what it was. And now I'm in my 40s and I know so many people, so many of my loved ones who actually suffer from this disease. The word is two words, y'all. Dis-ease. It makes your life not easy. Right. Right. My brother mentioned hypertension. Man, do our people suffer from that?
They do.
Right? It's gout. I never knew what it was. I was in martial arts class, and this dude could not get on the mat, bro, because he had gout in his foot. Foot swole up like it was pickled in a jar. It was horrible to see. But guess where it come from? From our eating habits.
That's right.
Right? So he's saying that if you follow my commandments and my statutes, man, just eat the way I'm telling you to eat.
That's it.
Then none of these diseases will come upon thee. Read.
Which I have brought upon the Egyptians.
These are the things that he like, I put it on them. This ain't even for you. This for the people who try to oppose you. This for the people who try to oppress you. Wait, better yet, we in spiritual Egypt. These diseases ain't for us. It's for the destruction of this land, right? But we like, nah, I want some too. Hey, I want some of that too. We love this place. Our people love being whatever you put right there, and in American, Hispanic American, Black American, Native American. We love that. We love it. That's not who you are, and this is why we're stuck in these diseases, because we want to do what this country is, the American culture and custom is, right? He says he put it on the Egyptians. Read.
For I am Yahweh.
What do he do?
That healeth thee.
See, he's gonna heal us when we come back to how he tell us to do it. Stop eating that. You know what? Stop eating that so much. Y'all ever notice that we won't, if it's grilled chicken on the menu and it's fried chicken on the menu, y'all know what you're gonna be going to, right?
Fried chicken. Me too.
Same thing with the fish. Y'all know we so bad now that we want our vegetables fried. What? Y'all realize the whole purpose of the vegetables, they help you get the fried out, and y'all gonna fry the vegetable. Now you just eating the good stuff. You didn't fry it. Got all the vitamins and nutrients and good stuff in it. You just cooked out of it. This is why the same diseases that's supposed to be on the Egyptians are now on us.
That's right.
That's all I want, brother. Psalm 78.
Yep. Psalm 78, chapter 30. Chapter 78, verse 30 through 32. That's right in the exact. And people don't know, like, we don't have to put it, but in the book of Psalms, chapter 103, I think it's verse 3, God heals us from our diseases.
1 through 5.
Yep. He
Psalm
heals us
103,
from our
1 through
diseases.
5.
But you can be doing his will. So you got to perfect yourself. You got to examine yourself. Hey, I need to wait. Hey, I need to lose this weight. Hey, I need to stop eating what it is I'm eating. You know, once you start doing that, then you go to the doctor. You will suffer from high blood pressure. The doctor say, hey,
Hey, y'all know Prince, the artist Prince. He was interviewed once. He said, "Tabitha Smiley." He said, "It's so." He literally said it on camera. I eat the same. Prince was like 107 years old. He still looked like Prince from when he did Purple Rain. Like it's not supposed to go that way. To them, it's not. But really, we understand the scriptures is telling us that it would go that way if we did it the Most High way.
that's right. Perfect example. Moses. What did the Bible say? Well, you know how Moses was when he died.
He was still able to fight and everything.
His body was still in good shape, and his eyes never did.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that probably contributed to him eating the food that was healthy for him, that the Most High God gave him,
And not overeating.
and not overeating? You know,
Proper fasting.
proper fasting. Yep. Yep. Start verse 30.
This is the book of Psalm 78, starting at verse 30. They were not estranged from their lust.
That means they didn't sustain from their lust. Read on.
But while their meat was yet in their mouths,
Read.
the wrath of Yahweh came upon them
And did what?
and slew the fattest of them.
Nah, the skinniest of them.
And slew the fattest of them.
Most High God stood the fattest of them. Most High God don't want no fat person up in his kingdom. You starting to be too greedy about here. So what the Most High God did, he had to kill you. What goes into us being obese and being overweight? Over time, we killing ourselves. We're gonna end up eventually killing ourselves. That's the ultimate end goal. When when you watch shows, because I brought this up earlier, I watched 600 Pound Life, and I watch how these people sit up here and eat. Then they go to the doctor, and the doctor tell them, "Don't stop what you eat. Eventually, it's gonna happen to you." Yes, we're gonna have to get with your and start talking to you, because the stuff that you eat is destroying. It's destroying your body. You start just hard. See, he got to tell you, hey sis, hey brother, you've been doing too much. This right here destroying you. And another thing too that is real sad for us too, things that we do when we're younger, they affect us when we get older. That was something that was always told to me as a child, especially from my grandma. What you do now? Because my grandma suffered from diabetes. What you do now? Just because it ain't messing with you now, when you get older, these things you're doing now, these things that you eat now, could affect you. You know? And before they know it, can't even clean yourself. You don't. When you what they call is military. Nobody. You don't see nobody obese in the military, do you? Why? It's because if you obese in the military, that means we got to carry your behind throughout this battlefield, because you can't sustain yourself. You can't walk. You getting lazy out there. You start getting real sluggish. You gonna mess around and get each and every one of us in this platoon killed. Because now we got to carry you. Whereas if you would have been exercising, staying yourself on a healthy diet, then you could be out in that battlefield fighting with us. Now you become a hindrance to us. Because now the enemy is gonna see that and they're gonna use that against us. And now we're gonna end up killing, getting destroyed because of you. You want to be beneficial. You want to be beneficial to your people.
Yeah.
You want to be beneficial to the Most High God. Most High God can't use you if you out there that can your body. You know good to him.
That's right.
You know, that was the example that he was showing down in the wilderness. Since you want to be greedy, since you want to do what you want to do, since you want to sustain this stuff for your looks, I guess it that you go. Because you can't do nothing for me. You ain't sustain my kingdom, stuff like this. Read on.
The wrath of Yahweh came upon them and slew the fattest of them, and smote down the chosen men of Israel. For all this, they sinned still.
That's sin.
And believed not for his wondrous works.
So Christ said in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44, you know, ye are of your father, the devil. Right? But it's a key word that Christ said in there. Now, Christ goes on to talk about Cain was murdered, but it's a key thing he said there. He said, the lust of your flesh, he will do. You know, he put an S in lust. Lust goes in anything. It goes in the money. It can go in the food. You know, it can go into sex. You know, it can go into things like that. But he put an S on that because lust is accumulated. It's so many things that go into lust. And this right here, God killed them. Why? Because they were lustful over what? Meat, food. Right. You know, you are of your father the devil. Your devil will do the same thing too. Father, he will do the same thing too. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
He gonna want that. Why? Because he gonna want you to do that so you can destroy yourself. So you gonna be able to get the kingdom of heaven. You know? Don't think that your angelic body that you get is gonna be a fact. You know, that's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? God do not want us to be obese. God wants us to take good care of ourselves. Why? Because when it comes to taking care of yourself, longevity is around the corner. You can live long. Think about our forefathers and foremothers. They lived a long time in the Bible. You got to believe that it goes in the culture that we have. One of the things that we into fasting. Fasting is our culture. Fasting helps you stay awake from eating. That's right. When you fast, you're not taking in water. You're not taking in food. You know, Judah, our forefather, was a beast when it came to fasting. She outdid a lot of men when it came to fasting. Her husband, Manasseh, died. You know, 3 years in her widowhood. She fasted 3 years in her widowhood. She fasted most of her time. You know, that says a lot. If this woman can do it, you can do it as well too. Sometimes we have to skip a meal or two. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. Sometimes we just have to say, you know what? Today I just don't. I don't want to eat. Yeah, I'm back away from food today. You know, I'm just gonna have to. Some of us need to be on a liquid diet. I'm just gonna be real. You know, there are doctors that tell you that because of all the meats and all the processed food that you got so much overweight that you just need to put yourself on liquid diet. You know, maybe that will help you out much. You know, these are options that we can take to better ourselves up in this life, up in this community. You know, we gotta be an example to our brothers and sisters. We gotta get that number down. 40% and 58% is a high number compared to the Asian markets. That's right. That means and I'm gonna tell you something, when it comes to Asians, you know, even if I was watching a video the other day, a lady, she wasn't even that big, you know, she was slim. Her thighs was, you know, a little bit like big, but it wasn't that big, you know what I'm saying, to the normal eye, you know. Her people told her that you overweight. They said when they look at her, she overweight. That's her people holding her accountable. Now we look at it, we don't like nothing wrong with it. She don't look like shit. Oh wait, but damn, this is how they sustain that 18% and that 15%, you know, because they can call it out. You know, that's how we gotta do each other. We gotta be able to call it out. You know, y'all look at me, hey, bro, you get a little bit over. That's holding me accountable. And me, as a follower of Christ, a follower of God.
Hast thou found honey?
Hast thou found some honey? Watch this.
Eat so much as is sufficient for thee.
You're only supposed to eat what's sufficient. Just because you found some honey, we know honey tastes good, it's sweet, it got a nice natural taste to it. We're only supposed to have enough that's sufficient for us. You know?
Lest thou be filled.
Lest you be filled.
Therewith and vomited.
Unless you get too full, you start to vomit. Notice, you get too full, it's going, two ends is gonna come out of it. You see it's gonna come out the mouth of the rib. That's it. You know? That's the truth. You know? But God is telling you right here, if you find some food, you find honey, if you make food or whatnot, just have enough that's sufficient for them. You know? Me and Gabar are two different people. What's sufficient for him is not sufficient for me. What's sufficient for me is not sufficient for him. You see what I'm saying? That's why God said, get enough that's sufficient. Eat. Because if you get too much, if I start eating what Gabar eats, what's going to end up happening? I'm going to start getting overweight and start vomiting. If I start eating, he might end up losing his weight. He might become weak, you know, because he not eating enough to sustain his strength. From there, y'all brothers got anything?
What? Get, real quick, because I like what my brother said. We have to remember that. Get Sirach chapter 21 and verse 15. Because remember what everything that he teaching, he's right on point and he right exact. And you gotta remember how to understand and accept it. How to, you know, when you hear somebody say something wise, take it into your mind. Take it into consideration. If somebody's saying something wise, the scripture teaches us how to take in information. Right. And this is a scripture dealing with that. Go ahead. 21 and 15.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 15. If a skillful man hear a wise word,
if you're a skillful man and you hear a wise word, go ahead.
He will commend it and add unto it.
So you'll commend the word and add to it. If you hear something that's good for you, go ahead.
But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it,
if you hear it and you don't really understand it, go ahead.
It displeaseth him.
It displeases him, go ahead.
And he casteth it behind his back.
Read on.
The talking of a fool is like a burden in the way.
Because to a person who doesn't understand, that it's just foolishness to them. But if you can take the words of wisdom and understand it, you can make them better. You can make yourself better by using those words or by using that wisdom. Go ahead.
But grace shall be found in the lips of the wise.
So you're gonna have grace when you use that wisdom, turn it into grace, kind of good words, and it's gonna sustain you. It's gonna help you. It's gonna grow. It's gonna help your life. That's
right.
Psalm 107. Brothers, man, brother right now is needed.
It's very good.
It's needed. Right. Yeah, even for those of y'all Christians tuning in, we know y'all probably having a bacon and egg sandwich. But this is what's needed to understand that the Most High didn't skip or miss anything. Right? This is 107 and verse 20.
This is Psalms chapter 107 and verse 20. Mm-hmm. He sent his word.
Wait, he sent what?
He sent his word.
So in these scriptures, he sent that. And in these scriptures, what? Read.
And healed them.
So in these scriptures, you're going to find the healing that we need. The spiritual healing. That's right. Mental healing. Guess what? The social or national healing that we need.
That's right.
But even the thing, like I said, he didn't miss nothing. Because right now, because the topic of this lesson today is something that is physical, is nutritional, is health. That's right. It's right there. He sent it for us. This brother didn't touch on not eating so much. This brother touched on eating the right things. This brother, he's touching on the things that needs to be said. Y'all, like I said, we'll have a big breakfast, and then you know what we'll do? We're gonna snack in between. Mm-hmm. You ever see somebody who snack? How many of y'all know people who are snackers, but they're not snacking on grapes? Hey, they're not snacking on raspberries or blueberries. They snack, it's not an apple or a pear. Hey, some chips, lemon cookies. Hey,
I love sweets. So y'all gonna see Gabar eat some Nutter Butter sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But on some realness, I eat a lot of fruit. I try to really do it. But y'all know what? People will see you doing that and they'll compliment you on it like you just won a Nobel Peace Prize. I see you always got some break to your head. Yeah, won't you try to?
Yeah.
Offer them something and watch them be like, nah, I'm good. So you're gonna compliment me on what I'm doing. I'm offering you to partake in it with me, and then you're gonna say, nah, I'm good, go to the vending machine.
Get some processed Doritos.
You see what I'm saying? Y'all know what I tell people, like, man, y'all know peanuts and almonds and stuff, that's a great source of protein.
It is.
It's actually really good for you. And y'all know what? We will not do it. I hear people say, well, I snack because I gotta hear something crunch. I like to crunch. So you won't eat the peanuts or the almonds, but you're gonna go get the Doritos and the Cheetos. Don't do it. Don't do it to like that Snicker with the peanuts in it, right? I got a Snicker, it got peanuts in it. This is how we do stuff.
This is how we think.
Right? But the Most High tells us that He sends His word that's gonna heal us. Go ahead and finish that off for me.
And deliver them from
their
destruction.
Y'all see it?
Boom. That's it right there.
This lesson is needed. For those of y'all tuning in, man, just take before you decide to argue about what your grandmama did and how long she lived, what was her quality of life, though?
Right.
Yes. Did Big Mama have to have her foot cut off?
She got a sugar.
Was she not able to get out the bed because she was 4, 5, 6, 700 pounds? Right. Just look at it. What was the quality of life, right? The Most High said, I give you my word, and not only is it going to heal you, it's going to deliver you from the destruction that you bring upon yourself.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. Man, that was good. That was straight up fire, because that made me think about, I was watching the news one day, and it was a older black male. He was 90-some years old. And they asked her, they said, hey, how do you get to this age? And what did you say? He said, I ate the same meal every day that my daddy told me to eat, and I stayed away from fast food restaurants.
I see that.
I said, what? You see, you don't need fast food restaurants. They need you.
They need you.
They need you. You don't need them. They need you because they have a business and establishment that they're trying to sustain.
Yep.
You have a body, a temple that you need to be trying to sustain.
That's right.
You know, long as you keep going to them, they pockets gonna get fatter. Your belly gonna get fatter. They pockets gonna get fatter because think about it. These people in most of these establishments, they typically ain't feeding their family this stuff right here because they know it's poison. But they give it to you because they know it's going to destroy you.
That's right.
And they don't care. But you have to care. You're supposed to care about your dad.
32, verse 19. Job 32, verse 19. Behold, my belly is as wine.
My belly is as what?
Is as wine,
Hey.
which hath no vent.
Had no vent. We know. We know when something don't have no vent, what's gonna happen to it. Read.
And it is ready to burst like new bottles.
That's how most of us be when our bellies stick out right past our belly,
Right.
It start to hang over our pants. It looks just like you about to get ready to burst. So you go over there and take that nap. You know, this is what God is trying to tell you. You don't need to get to that stage or that time right there.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to be eating in due season.
That's right.
You know,
Hey,
You know, exactly.
no, don't leave it off. Eating in due season and for strength,
For strength.
That's right.
to sustain yourself.
Mhm.
You know what? When y'all read in Genesis and y'all deal with the fruit, y'all deal with Adam and Eve, pay attention because really what it's going into is us being locked into our senses.
Yeah.
What's your senses? Sight, touch, smell, and what? Taste.
Mhm.
Right? So the first thing you do is you smell the food and then you say, "Oh, that smell good."
Mhm.
Then what? You want to see it. Oh, look at all this salt.
Mhm.
And once you eat it, now you locked in. You didn't lock in on the majority of your senses already.
Absolutely.
And now when you locked in on them senses, now you're not eating to sustain yourself. You're eating because it tastes,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
You eat it and it's good. Y'all ever notice you'll eat after you finish eating the plate? You finna order some more, just sit back for a second,
Mhm.
just for a quick second. And then you order again, or you ask for some more, right? It's because your senses are telling you, no, do it again. He just told us that our brain take a couple of seconds to tell your body, like, no, you're good.
You're good.
It's the latest.
But instead of you being like, let me take a sit back, that sit back is you acknowledging, let me take a minute to process what I just did. But instead of you processing it, you say, no, let me get some more. It was good. It was good.
Mhm.
Not I feel good. No, it tastes good. And now next thing you know, like you said, now you got to unbuckle that belt, rubbing on your belly. Right? We all do this one after we eat, right?
Absolutely.
It's right there.
And let me say something. Because I've been complaining to my wife about portion control, and we want to make this understood too. When our wives
Blame it on you,
when we
Pete.
put
He blamed it on you.
when we put extra food on our kids' plates, it's really out of love because we want them to be, full. We want them to be. It comes from a place of love. And I was complaining to my wife about portion control. I've been talking to her for the last few weeks, and so she cooked me some fish the other night. And thank you, by the way, baby. And when I got my plate, it wasn't like it always is. It was a few. No, it was a small amount of fries, and it was one fish fillet on the plate. And I was like, okay. And she looks and saying, notice I gave you this food there. Okay, thank you. Because remember, it comes from a place of love, but we only do it because it's subconscious. We only do it in a good place because we're trying to make sure we take care of the person. But we have to that's right, do it. And I really thank them. Thank you again for the portion that she gave me. And after I ate it, I was cool. I was cool. Did I go back and get seconds and third? I was cool. I was good. So now we're working on portion control. And after a time, your stomach will adjust. I'm telling you.
It will.
Telling you, it will adjust.
Absolutely. And that right there, that goes in the show. She was helping him.
That's right.
That's how we're supposed to be. We ain't supposed to. If a person get mad and upset because they want more, you helping them by saying, nah, you good. You already had it. Because what typically happens is one of the things that when we overeat like that, think about the time the Day of Atonement. Some people love to stuff their face before the Day of Atonement.
Yeah.
So when the Day of Atonement roll around, they think they good or whatever. But what ends up happening is the people that stuff their face, they tend to get hungry again.
Yep.
And so now they can't maintain their way of thinking when it comes to the Day of Atonement. Day of Atonement is supposed to be reflecting all the sins that you committed throughout that whole entire year.
Say that.
You can't even think about that now because now things got released. Dopamine got released up in your brain. Whatever. Now the only thing you think about is food right now. You ain't even giving it. You're not even giving that time to the Most High God like you're supposed to. This is the reason why God is telling you only eat enough that's sufficient for thee. Because of what? Because of strength. Right? If I just eat enough right here, Day of Atonement go around, I'll be strong enough to be able to handle the Day of Atonement. Most High God. You see what I'm saying? If I prepare myself throughout the year for fasting, so the Day of Atonement does go around, I'm already prepared. Why? Because I haven't taken it in like I used to. So, tend to make food that
Go not after thy lust.
Say it again.
Go not after thy lust.
When we was in the wilderness and we wanted more meat than the Most High God gave us, what was that? That was lust.
That's right.
God's telling you, go not after your lust. Read.
But refrain thyself from thine appetites.
But refrain yourself from your appetite. Can anybody tell me what scripture will help you when it comes to refraining yourself from things like this? What scripture can help you to refrain yourself from thine appetite? Because we know that it's the spirit that quit. The flesh probably not. That's
right.
The spirit is gonna tell you, hey, brother or sister, stay away from that. You done had too much. Because we know that the Most High God dwells in us. He dwells in us. He's telling us, hey, you don't need that right there. Well, what did I say earlier? John 8:44. You're gonna do the lust of your father. Yeah. So when you do that, you're going to your flesh. Strength. He gives us the spirit within him to tell us, hey, stay away. You're doing too much.
Verse 31. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies.
So if you give over into your lust, you're gonna become a laughing stock to your enemy. It's not a strange thing when you become overweight and then you walk into a grocery store and a little kid say, hey mama, look at that fat person right there.
Right.
Now you become a laughing stock because the kid knows skinny, fat. They know when a person can gain weight. You know, and a kid is gonna be truthful. We know kids are going to be honest. You know, they're not doing it to hurt your feelings. They just notice, like, hey, that person. And then we do have people within our communities, which I was watching this show before. This guy, he was on the show. It was a documentary about being overweight. So he was just walking through the neighborhood, and he had a whole bunch of Judah men over there saying, "Hey, lard ass," excuse my language. "Hey, fat man," and they over there laughing at him. God's telling you right now, you give up to your desire, you can come on that. But have you ever seen a bodybuilder and anybody just laugh at them? Have you ever seen somebody that's, like physically fit or whatnot? Anybody just laughing at them? No, because that is, aesthetically looks good. That means they keeping themselves well in shape. They doing something that probably the other person ain't doing. And so they look at that, they be like, hey, I need to probably get like that. You're an example to your people. You ain't an example to your people if you're overweight.
And make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee. Verse 33, because this is key to a lot of stuff he's been saying. He says, be not a beggar by banqueting upon borrowing. When thou hast nothing in thy purse, for thou shalt lie in wait for thine own life and be talked on. So just simple, you begging. You always begging to eat something. Let me have some of that. Let me get some of that. Let me get that. Right? And then what does it say? For thou shalt lie in wait for your own life. All that you just eating for this, what I say, for your senses, because it tastes good. That's right. You just begging because you see somebody else with it. Hey, those of us who have children, you already know it seems like they don't want nothing to eat until you make your plate. Now it looks good, huh? Mama, can I have some? Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I used to do it all the time.
Yeah, they won't.
Mama, can I have some? Boy, I asked you if you wanted me to make a plate, but the thing was, it didn't look or smell like that until you made yours. Right? But we do that as adults with our peers. See what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Right.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline.
The spirit of discipline. That's something a lot of us lack. Discipline. We tend to overeat. We tend to become overweight, obese, because we lack discipline. We can't say no to food. We feel like we just gotta have it. You know, no, we need to get back to the spirit of discipline. We need to get back to saying, hey, I don't need this, I don't need that. And we need to surround ourselves with people that's gonna help us to do better. You know,
Right.
stay away from people that tell you it's okay to have another plate. It's okay to add a couple more pork chops or things on the plate. You know, things abominable things. You know what I'm saying? We need to stay away from people like that. You know, we need to stay around people who not only keep the laws.
That's right.
People who want to see you do better, who want to see you change. That's the reason why we bring stuff like this out, because we want our people to change within the community. There ain't no coincidence that we are ranked the highest when it comes to obesity. That's because a lot of us start becoming enablers and helpers. Exactly.
For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit
Flee to see.
and remove from thoughts that are without understanding.
Because you have no understanding when you go to obesity. You know, but you don't have no understanding. You don't have no understanding that, hey, I don't need this, I don't need that. Maybe I need a little bit of this, maybe I need a little bit of that. Read.
I need a little more of this and a whole lot less of that.
That's right.
And remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in.
Now, get it. So Rock chapter 31, verse 19. We kind of going through a little bit, kind of fast now. It's getting time.
Land your plane, huh? Land your plane.
So Rock 31 and 19.
This book of Sirach, chapter 31, verse 19.
It's a familiar one. We all know this one right here.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
That's it right there. A little bit. We already read that earlier. A little bit is sufficient. Man will nurture.
And he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed.
That means when you in good, nice physical shape, you ain't eating much like that, you can be able to catch your wind. But when you overweight and whatnot, you start to run or whatnot, you ever seen somebody that's overweight and they first started to try to run, they can't run because now they trying to catch their breath. You know, they can't even get 3 yards down the road without over there going to the side somewhere about to get ready to throw up, you know. That's because you done ate so much and it ain't sustaining you. It made your behind weight. Now you became lazy and slothful. So now when you try to run, you can't even burn the weight off right now. You somewhere about to get ready to fall out. I got to, practice CPR on you, give you water or something like that, you know? And so this is what it goes, but a fit man, a person who's well trained, who's well disciplined, knows what to eat, what not to eat, who's well trained, and they know how to sustain themselves, they can go out there and run yards, miles, you know what I'm saying? Without even having to catch that. You know, that's how most our God wants us to be.
From I got something. Go to verse 20, because it's also going into like when you overeat and how your body has to process it, and you start you know how you overeat your body processing this, and you've heard them pings or noise in your stomach,
Yeah.
right? And your body's trying to process it. It's also going into that. Read verse 20.
Sirach 31, verse 20. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating.
So sound sleep. So you're gonna sleep better when you eat
Right.
moderately. Go ahead.
He riseth early, and his wits are with him.
So sometimes you don't sleep well when you overeat. This is talking about not sleeping well because you've overeaten something. Go ahead.
But the pain of watching and
The pain
choling,
of what?
of watching and choling,
Go ahead.
and pangs of the belly,
And what?
and pangs of the belly
Read on.
are with an unsatiable man.
So when somebody's this unsatisfiable, that is what happens when you overeat.
That's
And
right.
we want to try to always keep it to where we're eating moderate, we're eating righteously. And I'm gonna tell y'all something too, something we haven't mentioned yet. And I know a lot of us know about it, but most of us may not. Y'all have to get a probiotic. A probiotic is a healthy bacteria that's feed for our stomachs. That's very, very essential. Let's say that probiotics are actually more important than taking vitamins. Right? That's right. And that can help your gut health. You gotta focus also on our gut health. Okay?
That's right.
Lowering that sugar intake, those processed sugars, and focusing on our gut health so we don't get those pings that we just read about. That's very, very important for us. Okay. Also probiotic tablets. Also, there's also that kombucha. That
Yeah.
kombucha,
Kombucha.
you know, well, that's what and that stuff has good probiotics in it to help your stomach.
Absolutely.
Wait. I just want to say it again. Kombucha.
Absolutely.
That kombucha.
Absolutely.
And y'all can find them at all the grocery stores, like what is that? That not the
Hey, I saw some. I saw a bunch of kombucha there. It's everywhere. That's like
it's everywhere.
Whole
Yeah, Whole Foods, Sprouts, it's everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's all I want.
That was good, right, Zach? And another thing too, when it comes to food, especially when it comes to healthy food, I want you guys to get caught up, not on the brand, get caught up on the ingredients.
There you go, man.
The reason why I say get caught up on the ingredients is because you could be eating something healthy for a long time, and then you switch the back of it around, look at the ingredients, and they didn't messed up. They didn't mess you up because now they didn't put something else up in there that ain't supposed to be up in there.
Right.
You know. So you want to always get caught up in the ingredients because these companies they always freaking craft the counsel.
That's right.
You know, they gonna get you every time for especially because they know black people. You know, we get the stigma. We don't like to read stuff. But we changing that now. But you know, we don't like to read. You know, you got some. Sauerkraut. That's right.
They need not depart. Give ye them to eat.
So Christ is going to give them something to eat. Read.
And they said unto him, we have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes.
So the disciples are saying, all we got here is 5 loaves and 2 fishes. This is 5,000 people. You know, how are we going to feed all them with this right here? Read.
He said, bring them hither to.
Yahweh said, bring them hither to me. Read.
And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass. And took the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes.
Right.
And looking up to heaven,
he blessed it.
He blessed and brake and gave the loaves to his disciples.
Read.
And the disciples to the multitude.
Watch this.
And they did all eat.
Just the point I want right here. Read.
And were filled.
They was filled. Wow.
And they took up the fragments and remained 12 baskets full.
Christ was able to feed thousands of people with what? 5 loaves and 2 fishes. So he gave them what? He gave them enough that was going to be sufficient for them.
I thought you were going to say fish sandwich.
He gave them enough for them. And he was able to feed thousands.
Right. If y'all look at, if y'all ever pay attention to your Chinese food when y'all get it, or if y'all ever pay attention to, if you go any particular place, like anywhere, even if you pay attention to like Mexican food, it's not big chunks of meat. Chopped up, what, rice, beans?
Yep.
Right? I love Caribbean food. If you pay attention to it, they give you more rice and peas than they do give you the meat. That's right. Hey, go look at the Chinese food. It's chow mein. You're gonna get a bunch of chow mein, a bunch of rice, chopped up meat. That's right. Right? Y'all know that standard American diet is the thing that tells you eat a big old piece of meat. Have all of this bread. Have all of this. It's called the standard American diet. If you break it down to the acronym, what is the spelling? SAD. It's sad what they're doing to you by eating like this.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
That was right in the second. So I was basically just showing y'all, I was shocked, was able to feed thousands of people with just a little bit. That's right. He was showing you that you can just have just a little bit. we need to do that. Just think about it. If all these people had more than enough, like I was saying earlier, they won't be able to do the things that Christ did. There's reasons why. It's, this information, these scriptures out of the Bible, this is what heals us. We're supposed to take this knowledge right here and apply it to our lives. This right here is what helps us. First thing we should always turn to is the Bible. See what the Bible says. That's what it's something that is just people. Those numbers high. You know? I didn't even get into the children. I just read y'all the men and the women. I didn't even get into the kids. So what that mean? That means you destroying your body. You destroying your
For bodily exercise profiteth little.
Now, Paul was telling Timothy that Timothy, was in shape. Timothy was young too when it came to getting into the truth. So he was just telling him, he wasn't telling him, do not exercise. He was just telling him that bodily exercise profits little when it comes to building up the kingdom. It's still important, but doing like keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments, that is what you're really supposed to be focused on. When you see bodybuilders, what do? They put so much time, effort into their body that everything else that they may have in their life, it goes on the back burner. It's back behind them. That's their God. This is what Paul is telling him. He's not telling him not to exercise. He's just telling him to focus on the Most High God more so than your bodily exercise. Because that is what's going to help sustain you when it comes against the kingdom of heaven. Finish that out.
But godliness is profitable unto all things. See? Having promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come.
Absolutely. And from that, I know a lot of people may think to themselves, was there any fit people in the Bible? Yes, there was. There was fit people in the Bible.
They had to be fit for what he did. He got down,
Watch this. We're going to show it. We're going to bring Leviticus chapter 16 and verse 21.
Leviticus chapter 16, verse 21. Leviticus chapter 16, verse 21, and it reads thus. And Aaron shall both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over him all the iniquities of the children of Israel, and all their transgressions, and all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and shall send him away by the hand of a fit.
Say it again.
Of a fit.
Say it again.
And shall send him away by the hand of a fit man
into the wilderness.
See
what I'm saying? You gotta be a fit person to do the Most High God's work.
Well, you got to lift that goat up.
That's right. You gotta be strong. You gotta be in shape. You gotta be physically fit, you know, to do the work of the Most High God. He did not tell him go get that slothful man over there. Go get the fattest man over there.
Get the most obese man you can find.
Go to obese man you can find. You need that fit man. Why? Because that fit man, he not gonna be short of breath.
That's right.
That fit man can go long child. That fit man can carry weights. You know what I'm saying? He can be able to carry it long ways than this person over here that can't even pick up no more than that food that they put into their mouth. You know what I'm saying? You know, you go get a group of people and you say, which one gonna do the job? Step back right quick. Which one gonna do the job? Nah, I'm gonna get that man over there because he look like he's gonna physically fit the job. He need to be carried out. You know what I'm saying? You stay right there. He may even volunteer to want to go out there and do it. No. No, you stay right there and you work on yourself. We're gonna go get that man over there. And that's how we're supposed to be, work on ourselves. Notice that we have become obese. You know, if some of us suffer from obesity, notice that we suffer from it, you know, and get around some brothers and sisters that can maybe help you. That's what we're here for. You know, we got brothers that's in the congregation, sisters in the congregation that are health conscious. You know, they can help you out and they can give you probably plans to know this. Notice.
Verse 1 says, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my
My
commandments.
brother man pointing out he didn't pull out plenty of scriptures. We should have no excuse.
Yeah, that's right.
All of you tuning in online, you should have no excuse. He's pulled out plenty of scriptures of eating in moderation, of eating the right things, of getting a little exercise, right? Go ahead.
Verse 8,
Verse 8.
it shall be health to thy navel.
It should be what?
It shall be health to thy
The
navel.
reason why it's saying to your navel is going in, it's really talking about to your heart, to your well-being.
That's right. That's right.
He said that if we keep these commandments and we live the way the Most High intends for us to live, eat the way he suggested. The scriptures that my brother pulled out are perfect.
That's right.
Eating in moderation, eating the right things, right? A little exercise here and there can go a long way. He said it'll be health. Go ahead.
And marrow to thy bones.
If you know anything about the marrow in your bones, it's part of what keep your bones strong.
That's right.
So he's saying that right here, that us moving in this direction, dealing with the precepts my brother pulled out, man, it'll be nothing but health and strength to us.
That's right. That's right. That's right. We hope you guys got some good precepts. So, hey, okay, all right. We hope you guys got some good precepts. We hope you guys understood the nature of the lesson. Brother did bring out a really good class. It is our hope and prayer that Israel, that they should be saved. With that, we say, oh.